One. Okay,
Oh, we're going?
we're going. We're live, Tom.
Okay, well, y'all caught me. But if y'all bear with me just a second.
Better put that other E up there before they get you. We're definitely running on the ish tonight.
Oh, yeah.
It was 7-ish.
Um,
And good evening, Kevin.
hello, hello. We got people jumping on.
We do.
Can't read my writing. Is that over? Is that House Bill 237 or 239?
Let me look. $235?
Be 404 and what?
$235.
What?
No, 2395.
2395.
95. The short act.
Yeah. Okay. Probably need to get me something so I can wipe this board off in a little bit. So
Yep.
We're probably going to be writing a little bit tonight. Good evening. I hope everybody's doing well. And yes, we are running a little bit behind tonight. I'm sorry. Just been that kind of day today. Tonight, we're going to have an interesting but maybe a challenging show.
Kevin said, good evening, y'all.
Good evening.
John said, good, hey, guys.
Hey. Mr. Miller,
David Eno, hey, guys.
Dave. Guys, if you hear a bunch of noise outside, if you hear things coming over, it's just the middle of the Strawberry Festival madness.
Yes.
We will be so glad when it's gone. But let's just kind of jump right into things tonight, okay?
Hey, Eric.
Speaking of them, we ain't seen them in a while.
I know. They don't love us no more.
I can tell.
That's what it is.
I can tell. Okay. We've got a lot of things going on, and yeah, at the beginning of the show, we're going to talk about, I don't know if you call it political stuff, call it fighting for our rights or what. Talk about some stuff people need to know. Some stuff we need to rally behind. We've got, one thing that a lot of people are watching is the, I'm going to try to say this word. You're going to have to help me.
Reciprocity?
Yeah, the National Reciprocity Act.
You did it.
And the way it's written is if you hold a permit in your state of residence for carry, it's just like a driver's license. Has to be honored in all 50. If your state does not require a permit, you're still good.
Very good.
That law is moving. That act is moving. Protection of lawful commerce is moving. Well, we actually got that done in Tennessee itself. There's a lot of things moving, but we've got two very, very, very important bills that are in the Ways and Means Committee in the U.S. House. Okay? And those bills, guys, make note of this, are House Resolution 404, House Resolution 2395. HR 404 is the Hearing Protection Act. Everybody asks every day, do you think silencers are going to come off the NFA? This is what does that. Okay? The way this is written, it strips silencers by law out of the NFA. So it would be like any other accessory right over the counter, as it should be.
I agree.
For that to happen, this has got to get out of the Ways and Means Committee. David Kushtoff is a big part of getting that done. This is the phone number at the Capitol.
And for those of you that can't see it,
We will be posting it.
yes. But right now it's 202-225-4714.
Can they not see it?
They'll be able to hear, maybe not hear.
So, 202-225-4714. David Kushtoff, House Resolution 404, Hearing Protection Act. If you want to see silencers coming off, if you want to get it where you can walk in and buy what you want, as it should be, take action. The Ways and Means Committee are sitting on their hands. And they're not doing anything. We've got other committees moving bills. These two are stalled in the Ways and Means Committee. And some are saying maybe this ain't the time. If this ain't the time, when is the time? You know, we supposedly got a majority in both the House and the Senate, and we got the president. They'll sign it. There is no other time. And then HR 2395, Short Act, basically strips SBRs out, does away with SBRs.
So it's just a gun.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
it's
a rifle.
stupid. It's so,
Yes.
the whole logic behind it was
Agreed.
idiotic. It's more idiotic by the day. You want to talk about the future, helping our kids learn to shoot and being able to get things that are comfortable and fit them, protect their hearing, and just make things so much better. These two will do that. They will make that possible.
Yep.
HR 404, HR 2395, House Ways and Means Committee, David Kushtoff, 202-225-4714.
All right.
And I will be talking with his staff tomorrow,
Uh-oh.
one of his senior staff. But for everybody's asking these questions, everybody wants to know, what are we going to get suppressors taken off? Are we going to get SBRs taken off? It's up to you. Are you willing to make a phone call? One phone call means more than 100 emails.
That's right.
And that's what the representatives have told us. That's
Yep.
what we get talking to them. If somebody takes the time to pick up the phone and make a phone call. The second thing is letters, actually written letters. You know, you write them, put them in an envelope, put a stamp on it.
Yep.
Personal emails, not chained emails. And then, of course, the chained emails that come through different organizations. I mean, I sign up on every one GOA has. Or TFA.
Yes.
But the number one thing that we can do is make phone calls and light that switchboard up. And like I said, I've got a phone number, I've got contact. I'll be talking to, everything goes as planned, I'll be talking to some of his senior staff tomorrow. But I'm one guy. I need you guys fighting with us. You know, GOA needs you guys fighting with us. They're out there doing it. They're putting the effort out. We got to help ourselves.
That's right.
So, you know, I'm going to ask Stephanie if she will post this information on our Facebook site.
I will.
Maybe later this evening, so that you guys can take a look at that. Maybe you can post that email that Eric sent out today.
I will do my best
I don't know if
if
that,
it'll let me share it.
I don't know.
I
But
don't either.
we will get information up for you. This is important. This is, I always tell you, I don't know if we can get it done. I don't know if we can get it done. I don't know if we got strength to get it done. Well, it's like this. If it's ever going to get done, it's got to get done right now. And it's only going to get done if enough of us care enough to make a phone call and express that to the representatives.
Exactly.
So that's where that stands. And hopefully we get enough folks rallied and get enough folks making phone calls, and you guys can share this with other people. Give them the number, give them the information, get them making phone calls. Because everyone is, one step closer to possibly to getting this thing out of committee and on the floor. I know there's some I'm just going to call it what it is, some half-ass measures that have been proposed, like, putting something into a budget deal that strips the taxes out. Okay, great. But if you can get it out, if you haven't really changed the law, in essence. I guess you have, but you haven't. It's going to be really, really, really easy if the other side gets control to put that right back in.
That's
Okay?
true.
And trust me, it wouldn't go. That wouldn't happen at $200. It'd be more like $10,000. So look, some of these half-ass measures that people have talked about, no, we don't want them. We don't need them. They're bad. This is an all or nothing deal. Because when you do this little half-ass stuff, and you're half-stepping, when the other side gets their chance, they're going to be sprinting.
That's true.
So when you make the change, when you go in and you win and you're going to win the battle, you win the battle. Not a coffee break. And the way that's going to happen is if people mobilize and jump out there and get it done. And it don't take that long to make one phone call. Hell, we'll even be posting a script if you need one. So
We can do that.
think hard about that, guys, and act on it. Please act on it. We have over, as a rule, somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 people a week watch this show. So no, we're not going to break the internet.
No.
But what if we increase the phone call volume by 2,000 or 3,000 in a week or in the next few days?
That could definitely make a difference.
That makes a difference. Makes a big difference. So, there it is. It's in your hands now. Next, let's talk about this.
It should just wipe right off.
Let's talk about let's talk about hunting. Let's talk about, it's really nothing new. Some people talking about this, about shooting animals extreme long range. They see it on TV and they hear about it and this, that, and the other. We don't get off into personal responsibility tonight. Not a sermon, I promise. But I want to ask questions. I want to get people thinking. And I know a lot of the people that's on here, I know a lot of you guys personally, and I know, I'm not talking to you specific, but hopefully I'm giving you something that you can share with people to maybe help them be more responsible. Okay? Now, first, let's talk about something, and this is something people don't like talking about, and it's how far can you actually shoot? Well, I'm gonna put my stand over here and I see 700 yards down that field. Okay, great. My question to you at that point is, can you consistently hit a target the size of a deer's vitals at 1,400 yards? Can you consistently hit a 6 to 8 inch target at 1,400 yards? That's less than half MOA at 1,400 yards. I don't know, I've never tried, never done this, never done it. Why you ask? Well, the best way in the world to establish your maximum hunting range is take the maximum range that you're able to shoot. I'm not talking about all sandbags unless that's what you're shooting off of in the deer stand. If you're shooting off at the deer stand, that's fine. If you're using tripods and sandbags and stuff like that in the deer stand, okay. But take the maximum distance that you can put that bullet in a 6 to 8 inch vital zone. And I prefer to keep it smaller than that. And cut it in half. So if you want to be responsible shooting whitetail, as far as judging your ability, and you want to shoot whitetail at 500 yards, and I'm using whitetail because that's the big thing around here, then you better be able to do that at 1,000 under ideal conditions. And let's say you're out there and you are a shooter and you're shooting on the whatever, you're shooting and you shoot, you're a good shooter and you're shooting targets at 1,200 yards. Okay, you're a 600 yard, that's 600 yards hunting shot. In my opinion, to be ethical and to be responsible.
Right.
But then we get into more than that. So we know that's kind of how we establish the maximum range we should be attempting to shoot. Have I got any people? Mm-hmm. Okay.
We got people.
Tell you, it's that, the quick way to establish the maximum range that you're able to shoot. If you're out here running around telling people you want to shoot deer at 800 yards or 1,000 yards and you've never taken a 400 yard shot in your life, open the door.
Okay.
It's Bubs.
Okay.
It's Bubs.
Where's the key? There's. Here it
Bubs.
is. Okay, Tom.
Hey, Bubs. Ah. Hey. Hey. My grandbaby's here, y'all. So, anyway, let me try to get back to seriousness.
Saying hello real quick.
Okay.
There's my boy. Come here. Be on the show with me.
I would have moved it.
Come on, Bubs. Be on the show with me.
I figured I was going to get you anyway, so.
What you doing? Say hi to everybody. Say hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
Huh?
My name is Bubs.
He's like, nope.
Are you
He's
sleepy? Or are you just playing? You playing shy?
He's playing shy.
Oh.
Trust me, he's not shy. He's not shy. So how are you, honey?
We're good. We're about to go to the festival over here for a little bit.
Old man at work. I'm glad you stopped to see me. I am.
So I'll see you later.
You right, you will. We got to get you your birthday present.
Okay, we'll see you guys later.
Hey. Be careful, babe. Love y'all. Okay, y'all. I'll always be interrupted with that. That is always okay.
See you later.
So, let me get refocused. You know, he's one of our biggest watchers. Adrian.
He is.
Adrian says, Bye. Adrian says when they turn it on and he hears me start talking, he comes, starts crying, crawl up in the chair in his daddy's lap and sits there and stares and makes noises.
Yep.
So, anyway,
Nathan Smith said 95% of people should not shoot over 400 yards, and that is perfect conditions. Don't have the right equipment, don't know how to adjust with the weather.
you're right. If that person's going to be shooting 400 yards, they better be doing it every time at 800.
Mm-hmm.
So, people ask, some people ask me, how do you establish your maximum range in the woods? Well, it's not from dreaming, okay? And it's not from watching TV. And it's not from listening to folks on the internet, which we're folks on the internet. But it's not listening to certain folks on the internet. It's from getting out, learning to shoot your rifle, learning your load, learning the wind, and being responsible. Now, let's say, okay, well, how can I tell if cartridge is good to shoot this far, X number of yards? It's simple. It's really simple. If it's producing less than 1,000 pounds of energy, the point that it stops producing less than 1,000 pounds of energy, stop shooting. Okay. Yes, I know. I can sit there with the 308 on one of my rifles, and I can dial it in, and I can make steel ring damn near every time at 1,000. Okay? If I don't have a lot of wind to play with. Does that mean that 308 is a 1,000-yard deer cartridge? No. It's not. Somewhere out around 400 or so yards, roughly, depending on bullet weight, depending on a few different things, it's going to drop below that 1,000 foot-pounds of energy. After that point, I'm not putting enough energy on target to guarantee or to give me the margin I feel I need for good, clean kills. Now, I know everything I'm saying, I know so-and-so did this, and I know so-and-so, and he can do this, and he can do that, and they can do. Okay, that's one guy.
Georgie said hi.
Hey, Georgie.
We miss you, Georgie.
Yes, we do. Hey, give me that calculator. I'm going to try to show you guys a new formula tonight. kind of give you to get an idea on another way to figure energy. That's not right. This was some formula Hornady just has put out, and I've really not played with it a lot, but that's not correct. It's supposed to be a better way of figuring on target energy. And it deals with muzzle velocity and sectional density. It's just not right. But anyway, here's a quick way to do it. Figure out once you get your velocity, okay? Velocity, you square it. So velocity squared times bullet weight. And then you divide that by a constant, and your constant is 450,240. Okay? Velocity times bullet weight divided by your constant. And what that would look like if we're doing this particular load would be 2,500 times 2,500 times 178. So you're looking at divide by our constant. Still don't look right. So that's not generating any energy. Yeah. Then we divide this by our constant. Then we get this load is producing 2,471 pounds of potential kinetic energy. Now, so that gives us the energy at a particular velocity. This particular load is figured on 178 grain 308, leaving the muzzle at 2,500. Now, here's where a lot of people get confused.
Mm-hmm.
It's right here. Okay? As this number stays up, this number stays up. Because as you can see, velocity factors heavily into the equations. So as soon as this, with light bullets, which have no momentum, have very little momentum, as soon as the velocity starts to drop, your kinetic energy bottoms out. Heavier bullets retain momentum and they carry further with the heavier weight and the higher sectional density. So you end up retaining actually more of this and more of this at range. So but we can use that and we can extrapolate out. Am I losing everybody?
No, we've actually doubled in the past 2
Oh.
minutes.
So we can use the equation and figure out our energy as long as we got velocity. Right?
I was never good at math. I will trust everything you say over there. I have a question. Could we use the information that's on this box of ammo right here
And make a,
and
yeah,
show people how to?
it'll give us a good approximate. Okay, this is a 22 arc. Don't give me what the velocity's dropping off at.
Well, poop.
But for this load, it starts out, remember, this is a velocity squared times bullet weight. Velocity squared times bullet weight divided by 450,240. So in this case, we're going to have 3,300 times 3,300. Times 62
What's the 62?
bullet weight.
Okay.
450,240. We'll come up with, okay, so this is producing, seems a little light, but 1,500, you might as well say 1,500 pounds of kinetic energy.
Okay.
So, I wish this give me the way to figure, had the way to figure the velocity loss, but
Or most of the boxes not going to have that.
some give you an approximate. But let's say we drop on at 500. We'll say we drop. We'll say we drop 1,000 feet a second. Maybe not, but we're gonna say we do.
Okay.
So now we're at 2,300 times 2,300.
Yes, Johnny Carter, it is in session. He said school's in session.
Well, you know, I hear people talking every day about, not every day, but a lot of days, about shooting deer and losing them and doing this and doing that. And a lot of it, frankly, don't want to sound like an asshole, but it's because of their own ego and pride, and they won't sit down, or maybe lack of knowledge, being able to sit down and figure out what are the real limits. Okay, here that we're going to have dropped down to 729 foot-pounds of energy. So with just 1,000 foot per second drop with lighter bullets, we're losing half our energy.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, but it's not a deer cartridge, but it makes my point.
Right. It was the closest box I had.
So, you know, there's all kinds of data available. There's all kinds of ways to figure out this data. I mean, I can program it in. I can actually program it into my Garmin. You can look a lot of this up online. You can find a lot of it in the back of reloading manuals, how you can sit down and manually figure it out. But truthfully, when that bullet starts dropping below 1,000 feet a second, I mean, 1,000 foot-pounds of energy, you need to stop. I'm sorry. You need to stop. Don't let your ego and stubborn pride put you out there wounding deer. I mean, listen to the guy yesterday. Well, I shot 4 deer last year. I found one of them. It's all the bullets' fault. It might be, but somebody had to put those bullets in that gun, that cartridge in that gun.
Yeah.
So, we know now, we know how to establish our max range for ourselves, right?
Yes.
We know how the max range for the cartridge. So what else do we need to know?
Max range for the gun?
No,
No?
that's in here.
Okay.
We got to know, we got to pick our bullets.
You got to know which ones to pick.
You need to know
How to pick them?
how to pick, what to pick, why you pick it. What makes that bullet important? What makes that bullet work and this bullet not work? Okay? And a lot of it is simply bullet construction. We okay?
Nathan said, or they don't want to put in the work with food plots, scouting, and also shooting any deer with antlers. Pitiful some things people shoot.
You know, I'm going to disagree with you on one thing, Nathan. Don't want to put in the work on food plots? Okay. I'm not going to either. But, you know, last time I tried to go hunt, I ended up with a broken leg. In the hospital, still can't walk right. So, not willing to put in the scouting time. I agree with you. But shooting anything with horns, go ahead. I guess one of the things that aggravates me is you see some folks, they have hunted forever and never got to kill a deer. And they kill a 4 or 5 or a little 6 point, and then people start badgering them. Oh, why'd you shoot that little old thing? And and they just saps the joy right out of them because they finally got to kill a deer, and now people want to beat them up about it. I think one of the worst things that ever happened is when we started taking our kids and we're putting them on huge trophy deer, and they're not working for it.
Nope.
But we're putting them on these huge trophy deer that, and showing them, oh, it's supposed to be this easy. I'm firm believer that you have to work for them deer. And if a guy's out there and he shoots that 6 point and it's what's driving his passion and it's exciting him, then I think if anybody that wants to shame those guys needs to go back and figure out what their priorities are. I remember when you hunt all year and try to find and if you could find a spike, you shot him. And you have some people, that don't have the opportunity or the privilege to get into some of the places some of us have to hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And they're out there and they're hunting hard and they're putting in the scouting time and they're doing this. And maybe the best thing they got in that area is a little 5 or 6 point. And they bust him. Pat that man on the back. Rejoice with him. Don't down him. If somebody else is, like myself, I'm sitting there. Hell, I might see 20 deer in a day and never pick up a gun just because I don't feel like shooting one today. I've let big uns walk. I've let little uns walk. I've let slick kids, But I have been fortunate in my life, and I've got to kill lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of critters. And sometimes I just enjoy sitting in the deer stand and watching what's walking around. Don't get me wrong. If I'm out there to kill something, I get bloodthirsty. I'm not necessarily rack hunting. I might let a little buck walk. Hell, I might let a big buck walk and shoot a slickhead. But don't be the guy that steals the joy from a person who's maybe never got to have that experience before. And so he shoots a little scrub buck or something. That may be the biggest trophy he ever sees. Don't steal his joy. But how do we pick our bullet? Well, one, we do a little research. Or do a lot of research. Or two, God, this is going to sound conceited. You find somebody that really knows what they're talking about,
And listen.
and listen.
Take notes.
But take notes. And even between people that really know what to talk about, you'll find some disagreements today. And I don't know that either side's right or wrong. But those are kind of more in-house arguments that aren't really relative to what we're talking about right now. But a simplified way of looking at things, bullets are designed to work within a threshold. Okay? In other words, a bullet, let's say it may start expanding at 2,200 feet a second. Would be a start. And it would go through, and it reaches the maximum point of its window at 3,000. So if you're below this, no expansion. And if you're above this, they blow up. Okay? So down here, of course, as you're down here, your bullet's going to get minimal expansion, and it's going to get a little more here, and it's going to get a little more here, and it's going to get a little more here, until you get up to the point it just comes apart. Okay? Traditional cupping core bullets, which is what we all shot forever. That means the lead core with the jacket around it. Okay? They have a velocity window. So, we got our 1,000-pound rule. Don't get below 1,000 pounds of energy. Well, you have to know the velocity window of the bullet you're shooting. So, you don't want to shoot a deer when it goes you don't want to be trying to shoot an animal when it goes below your velocity window, because the bullet's not going to work very well, or it's not going to work at all.
Yeah.
Hope that's as clear as mud. But these things really aren't difficult, and they're things that we should be doing just as responsible people.
Will says he hopes we're having a good night.
I guess I'm giving mathematical lectures, so
You're teaching.
I never thought I'd be giving math lessons. Yes? Oh, I thought she was going to say something.
No.
So, there's a lot of big names on the internet right now, and they're all out there, and they're pushing this thing of hunting with subsonic bullets. Okay? In many cases, this is just absolutely begging to be a failure. Okay? So and so can hit a target 300 yards. That's a subsonic bullet. Great. I'm glad he can. Again, don't mean he should be shooting a deer. Most subsonic rounds, I hear people all the time, they want to stretch this. Oh, it's 150 yard, 200 yard, 300 yard. Let me tell you something. Most subsonic rounds are 100 to 125 yards tops. Okay? If you want to be responsible. I know there's some guy out there now running around talking about one of my favorite cartridges, the 375 Raptor, and he's shooting some kind of pistol, and he's talking about killing deer at 900 yards with subsonic bullets. And you know what? I call bullshit. And if he is, he ought to keep his mouth shut, because he's trying to get people to do things that are far from ethical. Because let's think about this. Think about this. The most velocity you're going to have on a true subsonic bullet is 1,050 feet per second. Okay? Then, depending on what cartridge you're shooting, as to what bullet weight. But we'll use probably the most popular, and that's 300 Blackout. Okay? So we got 1050. So it'd be 1050 times 1050, right? And then we'll times that by, we'll say 220. Then, of course, we'll divide that by our constant. And let's see what that comes out to. So, we got a muzzle energy, 539 pounds. That's at the muzzle. 539 pounds. And you tell me you want to take a cartridge that starts at 539 pounds and shoot deer at 200 plus yards and expect to cleanly kill them. Again, I know there's going to be some out there. Oh, I've done it. I'm sure. And somebody else will do it. But it's all those others that ain't nobody talking about, where deer get wounded, where all these other weird things happen. Bad things happen. You're in, and it's just strictly from ego and irresponsibility. If you're starting off with a muzzle energy of 539 pounds, okay, that's about like a little bit more than, say, 45 ACP. So, even when we're handgun hunting, okay, even when we're handgun hunting with traditional handguns, okay, and anybody that knows me knows that I'm heavy into handgun hunting. Let's use a real. Let's use a. Let's use all right, for sake of argument, we'll just go back here a little bit. We'll use original numbers. Let's say we're going to shoot 357 Magnum. Okay? Now, of course, this is not going to be subsonic, but I'm using this for a reason. And we're going to say we get a velocity of 1,300 feet per second. With let's just go all out with a 158 grain bullet. Okay? So we got 13 times 158 divided by 450240 equals, okay, 1,049 pounds of energy.
We'll call you Dr. Tom.
Is anybody still watching?
Oh. Yeah.
Okay. So we've got handguns that are generating more than a lot of your subsonic rifles cartridges. So if you're going to do that, and people come in, man, this stuff sucks for shooting deer. I shoot, with subsonic. Yeah, what do you expect? You're not putting any energy on the target. You're probably not shooting through the target. If you're killing them, they're bleeding out inside. So that's why if you're going to be doing, that's why you find people if they're doing serious about doing subsonic hunting, okay, and you want to get it in there, we'll use my favorite, 375 Raptor.
We all know how much you love that.
Okay, so we're going to use real world numbers. That's 12-inch AR. That's the actual velocity.
Ricky Hazelreg's wondering about a 454 Casull.
I'll do those numbers for you in a minute. But it's going to be somewhere close to 2,000 pounds with 400 grain bullet. Okay. So all right, so when we work this one up, might as well say 976 foot-pounds of kinetic energy. So see, still we're not breaking that 1,000. We're in a good, a place, a good, if you consider yourself handgun hunting. And the nice thing about, remember earlier where we talked about if this stays up, this stays up. Okay? Well, I've actually extrapolated this load out to 500 in the past to prove a point. Not that I would ever want to shoot a critter that far, but we're still at 702 foot-pounds at 500 yards. That bullet weight with that long 400 grain bullet carries well. So you're not losing that much from here to here. Like that goes to illustrate earlier what I was showing you. If this stays up and you have a well-designed bullet, then this number stays up. But okay, Ricky, you want to do that? I guess you want me to use my old load that I used to shoot all the time, which was 2,000 times 2,000 times 260 divided by 450240. $23.10. And that's firing a 260 grain bullet at 2,000. And yes, folks, that's hot, and I'm not going to give you the recipe. But that's the load I always. And when you shooting mine back in the day, that's what we were shooting, and that's what it was generating. And with this big 260 grain bullet, the way it was designed, we weren't falling below. Literally, we weren't falling below 1,000 pounds of energy until after 250 yards. I wouldn't shot a deer that far, but I have shot them at about 2. Because I had the bullet weight, I had the velocity, and I had it carrying, and I was staying within the threshold of the bullet. This particular bullet we were using back then was Partition Gold. And if I remember right, it was something like 1,600 to about 2,000. So I was running right at the top of the window for my velocity threshold. So I'd done all the math, and that's why that worked so well. When it went boom, deer went down. And that's exactly how I worked those up back then. So, remember, maximum range distance cut in half maximum shooter's range.
Ricky said, I remember the Raging Bull.
It shattered more than one or two whitetail and quite a few bowling pins. Okay. Less than 1,000 pounds of energy at impact. Is where you stop. And then the other thing is stay within bullet expansion range. I'm not good at spelling, guys. Okay. If we take these and apply them responsibly, I will guarantee you will kill more deer. there will be when you shoot them, they'll be laying there. You ain't gonna be running all over the world looking for them, and you can feel good about it. What you got? So anyway, I hope I wasn't too preachy tonight. I hope maybe you got something in there. There's something there something you can take away from that tonight's that you can use to help you. And
I bet if they forget, if they stop by and talk to you, you might share that with them.
I might. Have we got any cool gun? Have we got anything really cool in that we could show off right quick before we? I'm trying to think. We had quite a bit of stuff come in. Oh, guys, we got silencers, and NFA times are still good.
Yes.
If you wanted I know a lot of people have asked us about the AB Little Birds.
We got a few.
They have lit. They have come home to roost. We have Little Birds. And we have A10s.
Yep.
So.
762 and 556.
And we also got the new Thermion Duo in with night vision and thermal. Oh, man. Multispectral thermal rifle scope. We have those in.
We got a Thermion 2 XQ50 Pro. Thermion 2 LRF XQ50 Pro.
Yeah, that's with the laser rangefinder. I'm just trying to. It seemed like there was some piece. That we wanted to talk about. I got it. I'll be right back. Guys, this is a cool gun. You're going to want to be that. You're going to want to see this. What?
Getting one out of the wall case.
Yep.
I think they put them really nice ones. A really interesting one.
All right. What we have here is a Smith & Wesson 3844 Outdoorsman. They call it that because it's a 38 special. It was built on the frame, the end frame, or the frame that was for the 44 special. And of course, when this was developed, there wasn't a 44 Magnum. Hell, when this was developed, there wasn't a 357 Magnum. And they built these guns heavy, and the guys would load those 38s balls to the wall and shoot these, and basically they were loading 357s in 38 cases. And they'd get these old 38 44s, and they would stay with them. Matter of fact, later when the 357 came out, one of the things you have to be careful of when you find these on the used market is people would go in and board a cylinder, so they would take 357s.
Oh.
Which of course destroys the value. The first ones come out in 1930, I believe it was. This gun is actually early post-war, so somewhere 46 to 48, right after Smith started making commercial guns after World War II. Everything matches, all the numbers, all the assembly marks, everything's still intact. It's got the numbers stamped in the grip with the old Smith stamps. And it is the 5-inch, which was a little more difficult to find. Um, but just a nice piece of history. Um, they're, of course, 6-shot. You see how thick that cylinder is.
Yes, it is.
Um, had super slick actions. Micro adjustable rear sight with the high front sight. Not sure that maybe there hadn't been an ad to that sight, but don't necessarily have to have been because they did some sights like that. This, old diamond grips. A real piece of history. Gun I'm glad to have in here. And I'm going to tell you back, right there in that era before World War II, and, before there was a 357 Magnum or, the cartridges we have today, they'd take these old guns served really, really well. You'd see a lot of policemen get them because it's a heavy frame and they'd stand up and they could load it hot. At one time, there was a couple of different ammo companies that were loading some stuff. Basically, we're loading 357s and 38 cases to shoot in these. Mm-hmm. And they marketed them as a 38-44 outdoorsman. But yeah, a real, a nice piece of history. Gun I thought you guys might like to see, and I'd share with you tonight. Remember, any of this stuff that we're showing you, if you want to come by and take a look at it in person, you're more than welcome.
That one is available.
Depending on what kind of mood I'm in. That's a joke. So, anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. I hope you got something out of it tonight. I hope I just went and ranting and raving and
Well, there's still people
all
hanging
that kind
around.
of stuff. So, thank you so very much. And for everybody that's going to be tuning in later, we thank you and appreciate you. Remember, we do this for you guys, and we're always open to hearing from you. If you got show suggestions, you got something you want to cover, you got questions. That's what we're here for. But if you don't tell me, I don't know.
That's
I'm
right.
not psychic, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. Anyhow. Thank you guys so much. I think we're going to try to turn the lights and everything off and see if y'all can see what I'm seeing looking out this window. See if we can get out of the parking lot.
Yeah, the parking lot's full.
They're up and down the streets, and there's people wandering around. And we're going to see if we can turn the lights off. And
John, you might not want to come in the morning unless you're getting here very early.
yeah, if it's going to be after 8 o'clock before you get to the store, don't bother.
Don't come till after 1.
Or 2. Because tomorrow's the big parade. Because they're going to shut all the streets down.
You're not going to be able to get here. We will be here.
Yeah,
So if you wanna
we're going to.
call,
Stephanie and I are coming in early because we
Yes.
got
we need to clean some guns.
we got to clean some guns. We got I've got some book work to do. We got some work to do back in the loading room, and
7x57 versus 25-06.
that's interesting. That's interesting because you got 2 great cartridges.
We have to save that till next week.
I can do a quick comparison. I can do those from memory.
Okay.
You're going to find, actually, you're going to find, just doing quick math in my head, the energy difference is not that great. Um, with new brass, of course, we got the 7mm 08, but the 7x57's got more case capacity than the 7mm 08. Thus, you can push it with a little more velocity. You can push a little more velocity out of it. And with new brass, the brass that's available now in 2025, there would be some interesting. It would be. I've actually got that on my list to build a 7x57 in one of our boat guns, and do some load testing for it with a fast twist barrel.
That'd be cool.
But basically, if you look at it, throw the numbers up right quick. See, guys, I will answer questions, I promise. Y'all stay with me. If we look at 7x57, 140 grain bullet, you're going to be getting right at 2,900 in most cases. Might break 3,000 depending on power, powder, and barrel length. Okay, and if we go down here, 25-06, what bullet weight?
What bullet weight, Ricky? He said he'd like for you to build him a left-hand 7x57.
I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Got left-hand actions in stock. Let's say 117. And I don't know. We'll give it 3,000. Give or take. Okay. This boat's going to maybe have a little better ballistic coefficient than this one because of the length of the bullet to get a 117 grain bullet compared to the caliber versus 140 to a 7mm. This is probably going to have a little better sectional density. But let's do the math. We do 2,900 times 2,900 times 140 divided by 450,240 equals. All right. Here we're at about 2652. So now we're going to do 3,000 times 3,000 times 117 divided by 450,240. I don't much buy that. I think there's something wrong with that number because they should come out really close. But according to this, we're getting about 2,400 pounds. But yeah, I guess you might push this a little more and and push it up there. But see, here's where bullet weight wins again. The velocities are very similar.
Yeah.
So when the velocities get very similar, this heavier bullet is going to start generating more energy. But yeah, just holler at me, Ricky. I got left-hand actions here. As a matter of fact, that box right over is a left-hand short-action Wook stock. Like the one we did it's the Milemaster stock.
Very good.
In the left hand, sitting right yonder in that box. So anyway, guys, hope y'all enjoyed tonight. I know we've enjoyed bringing it to you. I think we're going to shut it down right now and get out of here because we're going to be back at like 7 a.m. or something like that in the morning. If you come up here at 7 a.m., bring coffee and lots of it.
We got coffee.
We got coffee.
Donuts.
No,
They can bring
don't,
donuts.
don't.
Don't bring donuts.
Did my belly feel bad all day? Bring country ham.
Biscuits and country ham.
Yeah.
Biscuits and gravy.
If you're gonna show up that early, bring biscuits and country ham. So then I might be decent to talk to. So anyway, guys, again, thank you so very much for you guys joining us at another time. But the guys, those of you that are going to be picking this up on YouTube, thank you so very much. And you know, what did they tell us we're supposed to be saying on YouTube? Like, comment, and share.
Yeah.
Make the bell ring.
Yeah.
I just can't do that. That's just.
It
It sounds like a damn carnival barker.
Yeah.
Make the bell ring. Come on, everybody, make the bell ring. Make the bell ring. What?
Oh no, I just had. It was almost like Mrs.
No.
Doubtfire's voice there for a second.
You know who's not here tonight? It's Noel.
I know. We're missing Noel tonight.
Missing Noel. Anyway, guys, we're going to get ready to sign off, say good night. As always, God bless America, and God bless you.